I mean, Dagan, I think this is called winning. Columbia University coming to an agreement with the Trump administration following widespread anti-Semitic protests on campus.
The school will pay a $221 million settlement, $200 million over 3 years for discriminatory practices, and $21 million for Jewish faculty over employment discrimination after October 7th. The school will also institute a mask ban, cooperate with the NYPD, and establish an independent monitor to ensure compliance. And this comes after President Trump's administration announced an investigation into 5 schools to determine whether they are granting exclusionary scholarships for DACA recipients and illegal aliens.
We really will get to the bottom of that, because clearly I think American students should have access, equal access, first and foremost, to scholarships. And undocumented immigrants should not have preference over our American students in those universities.
Here to react live on set is RNC Youth Advisory Council co-chair Brilyn Hollyhand and National Review staff writer Caroline Downey. Caroline, great to see both of you guys. Thanks for joining us. Caroline, I want to start with you. I mean, that's a lot of cash that Columbia is going to have to cough up. The White House called it the largest anti-Semitism-related settlement in United States history. I mean, this really sets a precedent for other universities to watch out.
Yeah, the message is clear from the Trump administration. If you engage in DEI, racial discrimination, and you create a culture where students are endangered, we will pull your federal funding, because it's not an entitlement, it's a privilege. At the end of the day, the taxpayers are subsidizing that. But it's important to note here that a settlement is not the same as an apology. It's not the same as admitting wrongdoing. Columbia University has still not acknowledged that it violated the rights of Jewish students. And I think that's the heart of this, is that it was only due to financial pressure that they caved. It's not like they had this big moral epiphany and mea culpa. And I think the reason for that is because leftism still dominates the university, from administrators to students to the professors themselves, because they still think that this niche minority Palestinian violent struggle is more important than the rights of their own students. And that is still something to keep in mind.
Where do you think that these students learned it? They were indoctrinated into this hate cult by these universities, a lot of them, or they picked the students based on their willingness to, they were already like bubbling up with hatred toward, quite frankly, the Jews, and a desire to wipe America and Israel off the face of the earth. But it's not all universities, Brilyn. And are you seeing students, because you're from Alabama, students moving away from these universities and trying to avoid them, and, well, making sure their parents want them to avoid these universities?
Big time. I mean, Gen Z is avoiding this like the plague, and they're waking up to it. This is a perfect example right here of President Trump once again protecting my generation. I mean, for decades now, we've talked about it since the 60s and 70s, when the left realized that they could kind of get into higher ed and plant the seeds there with this indoctrination, activists in teachers' clothing. That was a woke discrimination cartel that we're seeing the fruit of today. We wonder why people are, so crazy when they graduate college, because they started indoctrinating us in kindergarten. It's an insane concept. And this was a blow to that. President Trump busted open that cartel. The world is seeing it. And like you said, they're settling. They're finally paying for this. And we expect an apology, not just from this university, but from many more to come.
So, Brilyn, I've got a bone to pick with your generation. We're going to dig into the second topic right now, okay? We've got both sides of the millennial spectrum represented here.
No, Gen Z.
Oh, Gen Z. I'm millennial. Gen Z, thank you. See, Dagan's always on top of it. Glad she's here. All right.
It's because I'm old and Gen X.
No, because you're brilliant. All right, we want to get your reaction to this. So a new poll, a Pew Research poll, indicating that Gen Z is starting to swing towards Democrats. You heard me, swinging towards Democrats after leaning Republican this same time last year. Caroline, what is happening? What are you guys doing? Why are you guys doing this?
I take this poll with a grain of salt, but if it has a basis in anything, it's the fact that Gen Z is increasingly skeptical toward the establishment. It questions a lot of institutions and systems that they feel like have failed them. I don't think Democrats are suddenly persuading Gen Z anymore. I think after the pandering on the campaign trail from Tim Walz, treating young men like they were rubes and meatheads, the fact that they've been demonizing young men's masculinity for so many years, they're not suddenly in love with the Democrats. I think really what's happening is that they're actually demanding an even deeper, loud, ambitious reckoning of everything, from the Epstein files to the rate of deportations. I think it's actually that they want even more from this administration, despite all of its amazing successes.
A family member who works in the tech industry refers to Gen Z as being mercenaries because they know what they want and they will demand it, and they'll quit a job like that if they're not getting it. But I wonder if there's room in all of this for the Elon Musk America's Party.
Oh, I agree with what you said about the demanding and kind of that attitude from Gen Z. That's exactly why we got my peers off the sidelines, off the couch, a generation that, first of all, predominantly doesn't vote in the first place, and second of all, certainly hasn't voted conservative in the past decades. The Democrats thought they had a monopoly on us, and that simply wasn't the case this time. What this poll is another example of is it's so easy to be a Democrat when you're young. I mean, they dangle free things, dangle emotions, it's trendy on TikTok, and most importantly, your parents are still footing the bill. I'll tell you this, I'm 19 years old, I start college in a week. I spoke on 20 college campuses in the past year. I will tell you firsthand, this is the furthest thing from the truth. We are seeing a pendulum shift to the right that we haven't seen in almost a century. And I was with the president a few weeks ago. I was speaking with him when he came to speak at the University of Alabama. I talked to him backstage and I said, Mr. President, you have something the left doesn't have. You have a secret weapon. And you could tell he got interested. He came across from me and said, what is that, Brilyn? I said, it's this little unknown thing in politics. It's really rare. It's called actually doing what you told the voters you would do. That right there is how you keep Gen Z, not only in 26, but also in 28.
A novel concept, huh?
Novel concept. Really rare.
Brilyn Hollyhand, great to see you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Best of luck.
Thanks,
War
guys.
Eagle.
War Eagle. Have a great weekend.
Hey, go Bulls.
Caroline Downey. We will see you again
Thanks,
soon.
guys.
The opposite ends of the spectrum.
Yes. All right. Well, up next, free everything. What could go wrong? Kansas City can tell you what. After experimenting with Zoran